Thank you, Madam Chair. Just yesterday, we learned that in the month of May, our Border Patrol encountered an unprecedented 239,000 migrants at the southern border, the highest monthly total in DH history. And now, thanks to our inhumane open border policies, every state is now a border state. In my home state of Kansas, a person dies most every day from fentanyl poisoning. Nationwide, over 200 people are dying daily from fentanyl. The number's on the rise, and this is now an epidemic. Just last week in Kansas City, authorities seized 15,000 counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. Chair Murray, in your state of Washington, 5 people are dying per day from drug overdose. And Ranking Member Burr, in your state, 9 North Carolinians are dying every day from drug overdose. I don't have to remind people on this committee or our panel that fentanyl precursors are made in China. Then the Chinese work with the cartels to process it into a lethal fentanyl, often lacing other opioids, marijuana, meth, Adderall, Xanax, amongst others. And all across the nation, counterfeit oxycodone pills, like the ones behind me, are now actually laced with fentanyl. And unfortunately, just one pill can kill. And in the case of one young student in Shawnee, Kansas, it only took half of a fake Percocet pill to take his life. Dr. Walensky, my colleague, Senator Haggerty, from the great state of Tennessee, has introduced a bill that would expand Title 42, expedited removal authority to combat the drug overdose epidemic resulting from drug smuggling across our southern border. Dr. Walensky, I'd like to ask you yes or no, would you commit to expanding the Title 42 authority to turn back migrants to combat this prolific drug smuggling across the U.S.-Mexico border in an effort to stop the flow and the epidemic of fentanyl that is killing Americans every day?
Thank you, Senator. I'd like to just back up and say that CDC is a public health agency, not an immigration agency. And the question of Title 42 is a public health policy. The question of Title 42 that was posed to me is there a public health emergency that should bar people from coming into the United States? We now have, as of April 1st, when I commented on this, we now have the tools, the tests, the vaccines, and the therapeutics that are available. Our hospitals are not full. Most people in this room are not wearing a mask. There is no longer a public health emergency.
So, Dr. Walensky, I appreciate that, but I hope you realize that fentanyl poisoning is killing more individuals ages 18 to 45 than COVID-19. So for the same reasons that you instituted Title 42 for COVID, why wouldn't you consider instituting it for fentanyl poisoning as well? As would you commit yes or no to tracking this similarly the way you did for COVID?
To the larger immigration question, I turn things back to you in Congress to address the larger immigration question. As a public health emergency for COVID, which is what Title 42 was put up to do, there was no longer a need.
Do you deny that there's an epidemic of fentanyl poisoning across this country?
I do not.
Thank you. Secretary O'Connell, I have a question I'm going to submit for the record for the sake of time. It has to do with, we're going to be giving some 300 million more doses of Moderna, more for Pfizer. And from my understanding of the marketplace, there's still a substantial supply chain challenges for our medical products. And to Ranking Member Burr's point, I hope that the administration can give us a plan to provide the ancillary medical products to support the vaccine administration. And we would appreciate some type of a plan in writing. Thank you.